All right, this is Richie Cantardesi, your host for The Richie Show, and we got a special one today. Today I want to talk about one simple secret that you can use to reach your peak performance. It's something that you can do every single day. Well, it's not simple, but it's fun.
Welcome to The Richie Show, a personal development mastermind. Richie is an entrepreneur, speaker, author of In Spite of the Odds, and he's addicted to motivating, inspiring, and sharing the valuable information he used to accomplish his dreams so you can accomplish yours.
All right, this is Richie Cantardesi, and like I said, look, there's nothing simple about reaching your peak performance, but there is a simple trick that you can do to reach your peak performance every day. And I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to throw it out there right on the table because why waste time, right? So the first thing is this. It's easy. It's working out. And not just going to the Globo gym, like some like to call it, and hitting the weights and doing a few things and leaving. That's not working out, and that's not going to improve your peak performance or achieving your peak performance. So I'm gonna share with you guys today how to work out, what to do when working out, and what that will do for you. Right? So, and let's just jump right into that. So, what will doing these proper workouts? What will they do for you? That's the big thing, right? The first thing is this: increases productivity and energy. Increases productivity and energy. When you're, I'm going to give the example of an entrepreneur, right? Because like I've said, we're all salespeople. We're all entrepreneurs. I don't care if you work for somebody else. You're still somewhat, you're working for yourself, right? You're working for a paycheck or whatever it may be. But you need massive amounts of energy. And I'm just going to use an entrepreneur as an example. I mean, you don't work an 8-hour day. You cannot work an 8-hour day. And first of all, and I'm not saying they're at a computer doing data entry. I'm not talking about that. When I say working, it's what you love to do as an entrepreneur. You know, you're building a business. You're creating systems for that business. You're creating strategies and next marketing campaigns. You're looking at the business from up top and deciding which direction you want the business to go. That's when you're in the role as an entrepreneur. And we can have a whole episode on the difference between an employee and an entrepreneur and being self-employed inside your business. But what I'm focusing on right now is having the energy to take a look at your business every day, the people that are in the business, the leaders that are in your business, and pointing people in the right direction. But regardless of all that, you've got to have massive amounts of energy. You have to have massive amounts of energy. And so let's just go through what kind of a day would look like for the typical entrepreneur or even the typical employee, right? You wake up, usually you had a little bit of sleep, maybe you have kids, or maybe you just watch TV at night. And so you get a small amount of sleep, you wake up, you're rushed, you eat a small breakfast to go. And so I'm going to actually make an episode on health in the future, but you have a small breakfast to go. And you get to work, you're kind of rushed around to work because you're not there early, so you're rushing around, and you have a small lunch because you got meetings, and then you have some espresso shots to get you through the rest of the day, and it goes on and on, right? You get home, and then hopefully not, but sometimes you'll just sit home and watch TV and drink beer or something like that. I don't know. Well, some people do that. Probably not the people that are watching this or listening to this podcast, but okay. So that's what you look like as the typical day of an entrepreneur and employee. And so our brain uses 25% of the caloric intake that we take in. 25%. And so what working out does is it creates energy. It creates energy. And, your brain to think uses more energy than anything else. And when you're in a role of an entrepreneur, all you do is think. I was reading a book and this guy said, take a day off from work and sit in your room from 8 to 5 and just think. He said, it's true. After about 5 minutes, you're like, oh my God, this is nuts. It's hard to think. It's really hard. And that's all you do all day as an entrepreneur, because you're thinking about strategy and campaigns and the direction of your business. And even as an employee, unless you're just doing data entry, you've got to think. If you want to get to the next level, if you want to reach peak performance, you've got to think. You cannot just be a slave to what people tell you to do, and you're just like, okay, I'll do that now. And then people tell me to do, I'll do that now. So you have to have massive amounts of energy, and that's what working out does. Okay, it reduces stress. This is the big one. It reduces stress. I know for myself, if I go one day without working, my stress levels that day are through the roof. Straight up through the roof. I am stressed out of my mind. I am. I don't know. Maybe it's because I feel like, I don't know exactly what it is, but if I don't work out, not only are my energy levels lower, but I feel stressed that I'm going to lose my figure. I feel stressed in the sense that any little thing bothers me because I had no way of relieving that tension would be the word. And so working out has been proven to relieve stress. So, we all know as an entrepreneur especially, it's stressful, especially in the startup phase of your business when you're just in survival mode. It's a grind and it's stressful every single day. The other thing is memory. I thought this was pretty cool. I saw there was a study done at the University of British Columbia. Researchers found that regular aerobic exercise, the kind that gets your heart rate and your sweat glands pumping, appears to boost the size of the hippocampus, the brain area involved in verbal memory and learning. So if you want to achieve peak performance, if you want to be your best, memory and learning is huge. It's huge. And so this is something that working out can do for you. The last thing is fast decisions, guys. Fast decisions. Working out properly helps you make fast decisions. As an entrepreneur, as an employee, as a salesperson, you have to make fast decisions. You can't sit on the decisions. And they're hard to do. Making decisions, it leads back to thinking, right? So it's hard. And you're looking, and the thing with making decisions is this. This is the thing with making decisions. When you make a decision, especially as an entrepreneur, you've got to go all in. You can't make a decision and be like, well, you got to go all in. And so you got to be able to make fast decisions, and you got to make a decision, and you've got to go all in. If it was the wrong decision, you better go all in with it. And so I've been working out pretty consistently for about the last 15 years of my life. Been able to maintain a solid six-pack for quite some time, at least 6, 7, well, we're going on about 7 or 8 years now. And a lot of it is to diet, which is going to be the next podcast that's coming out. But a big piece of it is working out. And I travel a lot. A lot. Writing a book. There's so many things. So how do we work out? How do we find the time to work out? And I have 2 times that I love to work out. I love to work out either first thing in the morning. So like today, I was up at 4:20, worked out at 5, was done by 6, came home, got dressed, ate my breakfast, and I'm working by 7 a.m. Now, the other time I like to work out is around 10:30, 11. Usually around 10:30 I'll leave the house, but I'll wake up 4:30. I'll get about 2.5 hours of work in. I'll eat breakfast. I'll get another about 2.5, 3 hours working. So I got 6 hours, 7 hours working before I even go to work out. So I leave about 10:30, go and hit my workout. Back by 11:30, eat lunch, 12. I'm back to work by noon. And then I got another, I'm not going to discuss I'll go over my schedule a little later, but then I've got a whole second half of the day, and I'm feeling good. So those are the 2 times. Now, you have sprinting workout, which is interval training. So it doesn't have to be sprints, but that's what I like to do. I like to do sprints. I like to do hundreds. I like to do half gassers, which you call them, which is running 50 yards and back. And you got to time everything. So when I run 100, for example, I'll run 100 in 14 seconds, and 15 seconds, and I'll take a 45-second rest. So it's an EMOM every minute on the minute, and I'll do anywhere from 12 to 15, however I'm feeling that day. But I always set a number before I start. You can't start without setting a number. And then half gassers is the same thing. So 15 seconds, you got to run a little faster, so you do a little less of them, but you run 50 yards and back with a 45-second rest. I love doing those. I do some other stuff too, but that's my conditioning, and then I'll do sprints. And as a football player, I still love to run routes, so I run routes just because it's what I love to do, but you can run 25s, 50s, 30s, 35s. I have a parachute that I run with, and so that's one side of the workout is just sprinting. And then the other side is, and I've done multiple different types of weight training. Now, I don't want to use the word CrossFit because you don't have to technically do CrossFit. But what I like to do is focus on one strength movement per day. And that would include some type of Olympic lifting or some type of barbell or dumbbell lift. So it could be, anything from bench press to squat clean to clean and jerk to a snatch to, there's so many different or barbell bent over rows, but picking one core strength movement for the day and then doing some type of metabolic conditioning with weights or with your body weight. And you can find stuff all on the internet, all online. I'll see if I can find some links here to share with you guys. But I used to do regular strength training where you'd pick a body part, you'd go to the gym, and you'd do that. I don't know, man. I did that for a couple years, 3-4 years straight. And I got bigger, I got gains, you stay fit. But I'm not in nearly the type of cardio shape that I'm in now. And I travel a lot, and it's hard to keep it, but that's how I break out my workouts. So I've got my field workouts where I'm sprinting, and then I've got my gym workouts because you got to build muscle, right? So I don't want to drag this podcast on too long, but I want you guys to know the importance of working out to reach your peak performance. That's the bottom line. To achieve peak performance, to be able to perform at your best every day. And what's the reasoning for that? It goes back to what your goal is. What is your end goal? What do you want? Whether it's an employee to get a raise, whether it's an entrepreneur to grow your business, whether it's to move your business from making $300,000 a year to making $1 million, to making 5, 10, 20, hundreds of millions of dollars per year. What is your goal? And then how can I be most productive every day? And a lot of that comes back down to working out. It's one piece of it. And I'm going to go over my next podcast. You're not going to want to miss this one. I'm going to share with you guys my diet and how I'm able to keep a six-pack every single, at all times. Because it's not easy, I promise you that, but it's worth it. It's worth it, not just for looks, but for the way that you feel and for the things that I can do. I can hop on a football field and work people still. And I love that. I love the ability to be able to do that. So, guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to drag this on. Working out is key. It's key. And if you want to be able to increase your productivity and your energy, stay as stress-free as possible, increase your memory, and be able to make fast, great decisions. That's what working out will help you do. All right. So guys, I really hope that you guys begin to implement working out into your daily routine. I shared with you guys mine. I still have wristbands going on, guys. I have my book, In Spite of the Odds. Please check it out. Subscribe below. If you're watching this on YouTube, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Leave a review on iTunes or on whatever network that you're watching this on. Again, I really, really appreciate your time. I look forward to seeing you guys next week, because next week's episode is going to be off the chain. You guys have a great week and perform at your best. All right, take it easy, guys.